Hello everyone, my name is Clark Yang, the creative director and producer of SYNCED. From the last open beta in December, we welcomed more than 100,000 players into the game, and we heard a lot of feedback from you, and we compiled the list from those feedbacks, and we are working on the fix and improvement to bring them into the game. From those feedbacks, we learned that the game works. You know, the main structure, the progression system, they all works. And especially between the PvP and PvE, we found out that a lot of players playing both modes, and they enjoy the different dynamics between those two modes. And even from the progression system, players start building their own build combined with different functions of the runner mods, and even dig into deeper of how the attributes could contribute to their overall power. And all those things very exciting for us, and we know that we have a game at hand that can exciting the players. So from those learnings, there's one big thing that we know that we need to do better, which lead me to the introduction of a new system called Nano Leap. So what is a Nano Leap? So once you have your Nano, then you can quickly double tap space, or on controller that will be A. You double tap it, then you can quickly just change your position in another 30 meters away. And that feature gave a lot of momentum, not only to cover some distance for travel, but also repositioning and tactical options during the firefight. And that is very exciting because not only it works well in the PvP, also in PvE, that when you're fighting a boss, give you a lot of space and rooms to just regroup and redeploy your Nano and also get away from the danger. And from the early tests that we've been having internally, everyone loved this feature. And last thing what I want to say is about the progression system. We know that the progression system works, but we're still lacking some depth and lacking some content. So in the build we've been working on, we're not only make the runner mods progression line deeper and more interesting, we also adding some progression lines for the gun tech weapon and also your armband. So the gun tech weapon that you can really, progress and upgrade one specific weapon to make it more powerful and more interesting, like the black holes or whatnot, and using that in the last build. But as well as the armband that we can, started to give the power to the player that you can really add more attributes to your runner and Nano. So it goes along with the progression line we've been having at the moment. Then we have way more scenarios and levels to test if your build works well. And all those together, I think we're having a much more solid build that we want to deliver to you this year. So the team been really busy working on those things, and I think that the next build that we've been deliver will launch, that people are gonna love the game even more. One more thing, we're not only putting all the polishes and bug fixes on our PC build, we're also working on the consoles. So this year, we will be delivering the console build also to the players. So I hope more players will be able to enjoy our game on different platforms. All right, now some community Q&A time. Discord user from Barenda, will there be more Nano companions in the future? So the answer is yes. However, it's going to take some time to really balance the game, and we already have a lot of new ideas for a new Nano companion in the pipe. And this is very interesting, and we want to really change the way people play the game. So we're trying to balance, what the function this new Nano going to be, and what the actual gameplay depths that we want to bring. So stay tuned, that will be available in the future. Also from Discord user Boniface, the question is, does new content every season only include new skins, or will there also be new weapons, boss, maps, mods, and mechanics? And how long will season be? That is a big question. So the answer is, we're not only just upload and update some skins. That will be included for sure. But we want to bring in new season content, including story pieces, new runners, and new gameplays like new weapons and so on. And I think the most important thing for us is, as a game that we want to evolve from day one, we need to provide those new gameplay features and new experiences to the player. So not only skins, but also gameplay will be there for sure. And for the length of a season, we're aiming to have a season around 3 months give and take, but that will be some target that we want to hit. So stay tuned, we will be delivering new content and gameplay into the game every season, and even mid-season. From Discord user Salsa, the question is, will there be some story missions to get a little more immersed in the world and the lore? So that's a really good question. I think the key thing for us is that story matters. And the way we tell story in Synced is through some meme fragments that player can find in the game. And there's a reason for that because we have to consider a multiplayer environment that we don't want to break the pace and break the experience for every single one in the game. Like the single player game is easier because we can control where you are and what happened, but in the multiplayer environment it get harder. So I think that through those meme fragments that player who care the story can still piece out those things into the game, and then they will figure out that okay, that is what happened in the game. However, in the future seasons, what we wanted to do is every season we want to deliver some new story pieces. Some will through some cinematics. Some will unveil some bigger lore and bigger secrets, and I hope that player can enjoy. So the last question from Discord user Bass T. Will it later become a 4-player co-op or even a kind of boss race with more than just 3 players where you can dust off monthly rewards as a kind of guild? Really good question. So I want to take this opportunity to use this question to bring some plans that we wanted to do in the future seasons. As I've been stating a lot of time that I think the adding new experiences is always the key for our game. So at the base that we have the 3-player co-op that player already know and familiar with. But in the future, what we wanted to do is every month that we want to deliver some new gameplay experiences, some new loop, some new modes. And in those modes, they serve a different purposes. First of all is new gameplay, right? You will see the new objectives, new maps, and even new rewards into those monthly gameplay events. But as well as we will be giving more bold designs that into those modes. For example, as you said, more than 3 players for sure. There will be some modes that can support 2 teams and even 3 teams. Why not, right? Into those modes and tackle some very tough and interesting enemies. And month after month, that what we're gonna have is more gameplay opportunities and more gameplay modes that in our game that we want to see which one works the best. We want to see which one is more popular, and then we will bring those modes into our default rosters of the content. And for the next season, you will be seeing those content in the default content drops that starting with the season. So in this way, we're not only adding more content, we're also engaging with the community, with you, to see what works best and what might not work well. So we will be tuning our content and make sure that we always keep the best content available to the players and to all the fans. So yeah, those are the updates that we've been giving this time, and we'll be doing more of these regular updates to the community so we all know what's going on and what happened on the dev side. And so stay tuned, everyone, and the time passed well, and the game will be available very soon. And don't forget to wishlist us on Steam and stay tuned to the community.